How do we know when it's live? We're live!
It's live right now. Wow.
I've never done this before, but it told me I'm live.
This is it. This is what it's all about.
A party in the USA.
Are you ready to party? Get your headband.
Yeah, we didn't plan this matching look.
Truly, we did it. You walked in and you're like, I go branding.
But it's a party in the USA. I guess that means
this is the party.
Headbands?
Look, it's good. I mean, we're kind of patriotic. We're blues. We need a little splash of red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't think that through.
Did you see the cookies we're going to make today, Hannah? Little Llama. Love him. Do you guys see all these cookies in your kits? Have you peeked? I don't know. There's some fun options out there. All right. Why don't we unbox our cookies? Oh, let's introduce first. So in case you haven't tuned in before, I'm Denise, owner of D is for Delicious.
And I'm Hannah, worker at D is for Delicious.
She's more than a worker. Trust me.
I make cookies.
She is in everything. All right. So we have a few suggestions for what you should have with you today. Get something to cover your table area, like cookie sheet would work, or table covering of some kind. Cookie decorating could get messy.
Yeah.
So we've got some parchment paper. And then you have your cookies, right? So let's check it out. All right. Patriotic icing in red, white, and blue, and some black. Oh, yes.
Oh.
We've got some cookies that we should cut open with our scissors. Here's what you also need to go grab. Scissors and toothpicks and napkins. Those things are super helpful to have around.
Unless you never make mistakes.
True. If you don't make mistakes, forget about the napkins and toothpicks. But I suggest having it. It would be so helpful. All right, so in your cookie set, there's one cookie that doesn't look like anything. That's the mystery cookie. And we don't even know what this is. We got this cookie cutter. I truly don't. I have no clue. It came in a swag bag from CookieCon, and we don't know what it is. So part of the fun with the mystery shape is when we're done with the decorating video, you can decorate this however you'd like, and then share a picture with us because we want to check out your creativity.
And you could help us. Like, we genuinely don't know what this is. It's just sitting around. This could be what changes the cookie industry forever, and we have no idea what it is.
Help us help you.
Which way?
I mean, I kind of
We could
something.
even, like, name it after you.
That would be fun.
Discovered, like, Christopher Columbus. I don't think that's politically correct anymore.
I think we should have you tell us your name and show us what you do it as, and we could call it that. Like the mic. Just make it the mic.
I have no idea. This is a little bit stressing me out. We should move on to cookies I know how to do.
Thank you. I like these shapes a little bit more because I can't work like that with cookies. I don't take something unknown and turn it into a known. I wish I did. So we've got our stripe and our hat. I think this is called bunting, right?
Yeah.
Or a half circle. Bunting from the little porches. Firework, llama. All right, so we've got our cookies out, but before we jump right into the cookies, we want to show you about trimming the bags so that we can do some practice on our practice sheet. All right, so with the piping bags, we want to trim them so that our icing will cover the lines on our practice sheet. We don't want to trim off too much and have it just dump out into a real thick stream. Think like, instead of fine tip, like medium tip, not broad tip, just kind of in between. So I'm going to trim off a little bit. It's always easier to trim more.
So start small.
Start small. You can always go.
Get bigger if you need to.
Right. And then we're going to do our practice sheets. Let me bring this down so you can watch us.
I did white and you can't see it.
Oh yeah, get a color.
Come on.
So when you're squeezing the piping bag, maybe you remember this from last week, you want to squeeze at the top of the piping bag and you're not actually touching the tip to the paper. You're going to just drag it along and show it where to go. And then to stop a line, you press down and pull up. There we go. Feels good to get back into cookies.
I always feel weird when I haven't decorated in a while. I feel very clumsy. So I am so glad we're starting with practice sheet.
Absolutely. Even when you work on cookies every week, you need some practice. Get the pressure down because it's so funny how just a little change in how you squeeze can make all the difference. So try to follow along all the lines on the practice sheet. Whoa,
I'm having a hard time following the lines.
You're doing great.
My hardest shape is always circles.
Yeah, that is so tough. We don't put circles in kits very often because circles really are the hardest shape. Here we go. Now that we've just talked about circles, it's hard to keep your hand going in the same circular motion throughout the whole shape.
We're going to have a little half circle to do later. So make sure you practice that circle. You might notice, like, Denise and I have different ways of holding our piping bags.
Oh, how do you do yours? I want to watch your hands.
I've been holding it lately like this. And I feel like I have better control over it. But I used to do it like this.
Gotcha.
So you might want to try a couple different ways of holding it, depending on which hand is done.
Oh, I can't do that.
Oh no, I like hold it.
It's so interesting how it's so different for everybody.
And I'll even hold it different for different, I don't know, shapes.
Different shapes.
So
whatever feels best.
Find something that feels comfortable.
Awesome. So we practiced. Good job, everybody. All right, let's move on to the cookies. All right, so we break cookie decorating into 3 steps. Oh, look, we have some viewers. Hi, guys. So we break cookie decorating into 3 steps. We outline, we flood, and then we detail. So the first step is just to put an outline on all of the cookies. Something that I did with this set is I used some black to create some sections, and I kind of like how that looks. So we're going to definitely incorporate those, and we're just going to roll with it. So let's trim the rest of our bags right now. I know I just trimmed my glue for the practice sheet. Let's get the rest of those ready and on deck. So remember, just trim off a little bit. Right. And at this point, in case, let's say somebody trimmed their bag too much. I'm going to show you what to do right now in case that happened. So let's say you got the scissors out and you just chopped it off. Here's what I want you to do. Chop it off even more. And with that extra bag in your kit, put your bag that you chopped off a little too much into this. Squeeze out all the icing into the new bag. I want you to start off successfully. And outlining with a big old tip is not easy. So that's what the extra bag's for, in case you have any little goofs. Okay, so we've got some bags. trimmed up and ready to go. I always like to start with the cookies closest to me and then shuffle them around so I'm not reaching over and I don't have as much control. So how about I do these and you can demonstrate to others? Want to?
What should we start with?
I don't know. Can I start with the llama? I love him. He's so fun.
Yes.
Okay. I'll start with these. So with the sunglasses, I want you to make 2 hearts first on the sunglasses. Here's where we're going with this. I just want to show you. I'm going to create those 2 black hearts for the lenses first. That's the outlining I'm going to do.
I have the Party in the USA song.
My gosh, I was just going to tell them that.
And
That's
I can't
so
stop
funny.
singing it.
I was just going to tell you guys, we were going to play Party in the USA, but we are afraid that YouTube would pull it because it's copyright. That's so funny. Sometimes
But
that
now I'm
happens
just singing
with
it in
you.
my head.
A lot of times when I want to talk to Hannah about something, she says it first. It's so weird. I think we're on the same wavelength. Okay, hearts. Great. And then with the llama, what I'm going to do is create his sunglasses first. So the llama, I'm going to create the sunglasses first to save those spots for the sunglasses. And then I'm going to do everything else as an outline. So just so you can see where we're going with that, I'm going to start with a big old blue heart. And then I'm going to do a red heart.
So the llama has a little is that a saddle? Is that what that's called?
I think.
Can you ride llamas? Is it a
I wish you could.
skirt? But so that's just gonna go on top. We're not gonna outline that.
Right. Thanks for calling.
That's just gonna go on top.
That's what we call
later.
detail. That's just a finishing touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything else is just gonna be white.
Totally. Yeah. So I made these hearts for the sunglasses, and now I'm gonna do the rest of his body in white. I'm gonna leave some a little area at the bottom for his hooves. Hooves.
I'm gonna make my llama just all white because I don't know what kind of eyes I want to do yet.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I'll try a different way.
I love it. Yeah, use your creativity. Please don't feel that you have to do what we're doing. If you want to try something else, go for it.
I'll see what happens.
That's fun. Do you know I heard about llamas and alpacas that there's a difference? So technically, let me tell you something I learned last year. Llamas are not nice.
Oh.
They're mean. Alpacas are really nice, but they're small. So most people who knew animals, like around the fair, we made these, and people were like, oh, those are probably alpacas if they're nice and cute. So llamas are like beasts, and they're really mean.
I'll make an angry llama then.
Okay.
So it'll be more accurate.
Okay, I'll make an alpaca, you make a llama. I think alpacas would wear sunglasses and saddles.
Who's with me? Team llama. Team angry llamas.
Okay, all right. So let's move on. I'm going to shuffle my cookies around so that I can get those 2 that I've already done out of the way. I want to work closest to me. How do you think you want to do your firework, Hannah? Let's talk about design ideas for the firework. I like the blue background. Maybe one of us should try one color and we reverse it. I don't know. I like your idea of doing 2 different things so people can see 2 different directions to go with it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got sprinkles on it.
Yeah.
But I'm jumping ahead.
I know.
We just need to outline it.
We need to outline it and think about what color we want it to be in the end. So I'll do it blue like my example. And I did the whole thing in blue to start with. I just followed the whole outline of the cookie.
I like blue because it is like it's the
like
night sky. Yeah, I think I want blue too.
Perfect. So when I outline the cookie, I'm going as close to the edge of the cookie as I can without going over. Let me hold that up close so you can see. I'm going as close to the edge as I can so that all the icing will stay put on the cookie. If you're not happy with your lines at this point, let's say you don't go close enough to the edge. That's what the toothpicks are for. Scrape it off and start again so that you can make your outline as nice as possible. This is the foundation for the rest of your work. So do your best.
And if it falls off the edge, that happens.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Just scrape it off.
It's all good.
Keep going.
All right. The hat. So when I did this hat, I'm going to show you how I created each of those sections. This one took a little extra outlining. Steppage. Okay. So the brim, this little blue mid area I did first. I didn't make quite a straight line. I kind of swooped it down a little bit. And I created this band first. Like that. And then I created the sections. So I made red section here and one in the middle. And then move over a bit, leaving room for where white will go. And another band of red on the edge. And I also made the brim red.
This cookie makes me want to go to a parade.
I know. I wish I had necklaces right now or something patriotic. I don't think there will be any fireworks this year. Have Chardons been canceled? I think they have.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm guessing there's going to be private fireworks going on places. I hope. I love listening to them. So I also created some white. Let me show you this. It's so wet, but I want to go up close.
I can grab mine.
Oh, good. Yeah, we put little white areas at the top so that we're planning ahead and we'll know white's going to go there. So we're just creating the areas right now. That's what's happening. And that's as far as we're going to go right now. We're just going to let that set. All right. And then the final two cookies in the set are the flag and the bunting. So in the flag set, or the flag, I did the black first. So do you see all those areas black? So here's what I suggest doing. I suggest the first step is to outline the entire cookie in black. So start with that. Just follow the whole outside shape. Right, so you've got that. Next, you're going to create the area where the stars will go. Let me wipe this off. Sometimes when my icing comes out too much and it gets all blobby on the end, I want to wipe it off. All right, so in this area here, I'm creating that corner area where the stars will go. So you just have to wing it a little bit and give it a large enough area, still leaving enough space to create the stripes. See that? So that top left corner is where I made that area. And now you just create some bands that follow the shape of the border. So I try to make it a little bit parallel, if that makes sense. It has that little bend in it.
Following the swoopy lines the best you can.
Yeah, it's hard to stay consistent with the spacing. You can put as many or as few as you'd like. There we go. So we created some sections where our red and white will go, but we're going to let this dry and just sit for now. So set that one aside. And then the bunting. These can be any color. You really can do any background color. I outlined this one in white and then added some fun marbling to the middle that we're going to show you. So I think I'd like to do it the same, but you can choose any color to outline this with. I think this would look neat in any of the colors.
I'll make a red one. We'll see what happens with that.
So I go along the top first in a straight edge, and then here comes your half circle. Go as close to the edge as you can without going over. And if you goof, that's what you can use your toothpick for. Just scrape it off and start again. And that is step one, my friends. Nailed it. All right. I wish we could see on YouTube videos. Like, I wish we could see how everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
I miss the interactive piece. All right. So I like to go back to the cookies that we started with because those lines have dried. So we're going to shuffle a bit.
Yeah. If you let your outlining dry just a little bit, it'll keep it from your icing from falling off the cookie when you add more in.
Yeah, it's like the fence. It's a barrier. And this, we should have our sprinkles ready because any of the cookies that you're going to want to do with sprinkles, you have to add sprinkles when the icing is wet. So let's just have that set aside. Let me get my box out of the way.
You also want to make sure you have, for this next part, your toothpicks ready.
Yeah.
You're going to want those.
You're going to use that for spreading out the icing. All right. So one thing I'm going to do first on this llama, and then I'm going to go over to the sunglasses. On the llama, I want to fill in the sunglasses right now so that can start to dry a bit. Oh, I want to do it in black. Toothpick. I forgot that I want to fill them in black. Usually I always fill in the same color as the outline, but not this set. So this kind of goes against how I normally work. But I think it still would look cute with blue. Sunglasses are any color. So I'm just going to squeeze in some black. In both of the lenses. There we go.
The icing wants to like smooth out. So you just kind of have to, if you want that flat look on the cookies, which we'll go into more as we get more into this next stage, but you just kind of wiggle it around, either with piping bag or grab a toothpick and wiggle it around and help it flatten, help it smooth out.
Yeah, it just like becomes a glassy solid surface, which we'll see a little bit better in the larger ones. All right, I'm going to move over here and let this just kind of dry a little bit more in that area because I think I started with the sunglasses. So I'm going to make one side of the sunglasses one color. The stars and stripes are going to be in both lenses. But again, please use your creativity and do it how you'd like. So I think I trimmed it enough. I feel comfortable flooding the cookie with the way my bag is trimmed. If yours is not coming out fast enough and you want to trim just a little bit more, you can feel free to do that. But I feel like mine is at a good place that I'm just going to use the same opening to spread out this icing. And as I squeeze out the icing, I'm moving it around a little bit with the tip of my piping bag. And then once I have a lot of icing out on the cookie, I grab my toothpick and I start to push it up to the edge. I'm trying to keep a lot of that black area visible without covering it. So I'm pushing it up just to the edge. There we go. And if I want to create some star, so that like star effect, I'm actually going to use polka dots because making tiny itty bitty stars would be a little difficult. So we're going to give it the effect. So while the icing is wet, I'm going to sink down some little polka dots. I'm pressing down and pulling up. And when you add wet icing to wet icing, it will just take the icing and pull it down into the background and create one solid surface. Knock at the back door during a live video. That's interesting.
That happens.
Thanks, Anna. All right, so we did that on this side. Let me hold this up so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. And then on the other side, we're going to do the stripes. So I'm going to do the same flooding with my red this time. I kind of swirl it around as I go. I'm squeezing out the icing, swirling it around. Delivery?
We got a delivery.
Oh, that's so exciting. So we're doing the red side now. And I just swirl it with the tip. The tip of the bag serves as a toothpick a little bit. A lot of times we don't use toothpicks because the tip of the bag can really be helpful. But sometimes there are just little areas that you want even more control and you use the toothpick to do that. So I inspect the cookie all around, make sure all of the cookie has the flood icing pushed up to the outline. And then while the icing is wet, I want you to use your white to create some stripes. So I start at the top.
Sometimes it's nice to have more dimension on a cookie. So you want to wait to put details like this in until after the flooding icing is dried. But this is the kind of, I think sunglasses is a look where you want it to be real smooth and shiny.
Right. Look like the lenses.
But on a lot of the other cookies, we won't put a lot of detail like this in because it's fun to have more dimension in it.
My gosh, did you ever have those sunglasses that look like this, but you see through it?
Yeah.
I think I have those somewhere. I wish I would have worn them. I have those. Oh my gosh. All right, that cookie is basically done. One thing I might do on this to finish this one off, we'll do that as a detail later. Never mind. Okay. Llama, being alpaca.
Alpaca llama.
Oh, yeah. I've got nice alpaca that you want to go for a ride on. So this one is bigger. So one choice I'm going to make right now is in my piping bag, I know that if I go to flood this cookie the way my bag's trimmed, it's going to start to dry before I finish. So I am going to trim off my bag just a little more. I always like to wipe it off first so I can see where I'm cutting and I'm not just cutting a big blob. I'm going to trim off just a little more. And I'm first going to start in this top area by his ears above the glasses. I'm just going to fill that in. This is a fun way to start a Monday. I feel like it's so relaxing. I hope you guys are feeling that too. So I use my toothpick to just spread out the icing in that ear, forehead area. And it's just going to start to smooth out as I stop playing around with it. Now comes for the rest of the body. So I'm going to go around the sunglasses, trying to maintain that shape. And I'm just going to squeeze it out. The icing will start to dry. I don't want to say quickly because I don't want you to feel that it's a race. But icing does start to dry when you're done playing around with it. So it's important to work on one cookie at a time instead of flooding several at once. Always focus on one cookie at a time so that you can get the icing on there before it starts to crust over and start the drying process. So we both squeezed out a lot of icing, and now you can use your toothpick for spreading it right up to the edges.
I mostly use my piping bag and kind of spread it out as I'm going. So that it's kind of, you just kind of find the way that feels most comfortable to you.
And sometimes I see people, especially during classes, I watch this technique, which was cool, is sometimes if you notice your cookie's looking a little bit wavy or bumpy and the icing isn't smoothing out, if you hold it by the very edges and tap it on the surface like that, you'll notice that it'll help it to settle down and smooth out. And then it starts to get real glossy and glass-like. And when you stop playing with it, it will do its thing. I've got this, it's a little tricky to get around the heart. So I want to make sure I have it in those tiny areas. Fun. All right. Let's shuffle. I'm excited for this one. I think that's fun. Both of these are really fun. Okay, so I'm going to do the area up in the top left first for the stars. So use a blue to do this, and then we're going to use our sprinkles. I picked out on my flag example I used the white sprinkles on this one. You can use those sprinkles however you like. That's what we're going to do. Get a bunch on. You don't want to see any of your cookie through your icing. And it takes some practice to get used to how much icing to use so that it doesn't fall over the outline. That just takes practice because too little is too thin, and then too much icing will spill over.
If it spills over at this point, don't try to fix it.
Right.
It just kind of makes a mess. Just let it dry. It's so much easier to scrape using a toothpick, scrape extra icing off the sides if it overflows. But like if you scrape it when it's wet, it just keeps overflowing, and it
just let it go
kind of
stressful. Let it go. We'll scrape it later. So I'm just picking out the white sprinkles right now, and I'm just adding some stars. I wish this set had white stars in it.
I am going to go rogue, and I'm going to put all colors of sprinkles on mine.
Oh, nice. Why not? There are no rules with cookie decorating, guys.
I just want to see what it looks like. I'm just curious.
I've watched some cookie decorating videos. I think I said this in the video last week. I've seen cookie decorators use tweezers, like cookie tweezers, for this stuff, and I just can't imagine.
I don't even have the patience to pick out the white ones.
Right. We're just plopping them on.
I just want lots of sprinkles on my cookie.
Oh, that's fun. I like the rogue. I like what you did with that. That's cute.
Yeah, if you're a rebel, use all the colors.
I like it. Why not? I keep seeing little areas where I just think it needs a little more. That's the last one. Okay. Don't fall off, sprinkle. Now with the sections, now we alternate red, white, red, white. So let's fill in those areas. I use so many napkins. Hannah, you're so neat. You don't even use a napkin.
Oh, I have some over here.
She's a neat decorator. So we're going to fill in those areas.
I like that the black outline makes it kind of look like stained glass, maybe?
Yeah. I like it. I think one challenge for me with using a different color outline is to be able to see the same amount of it throughout the area. Like I don't want my red to cover it up too much. And then I'm going to alternate. Skip over an area, save it for white.
Yeah, we'll just go really slow so we don't cover up that black outline. These are also pretty small areas that we're filling in. So you want to be nice and slow, not squeezing out too much.
No rush.
Do you have a favorite patriotic song? Here's what's going on in my head right now. This is what I hear, is I hear that one that goes, da, 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 da. That's what's playing in my head right now. Like I'm at a parade. I don't even know what it is.
I like that song. I do want to go to a parade and hear that. I hear that. Where do they play that I know that so well?
But I don't even know what it's called.
I've never even been to a 4th of July parade, but I know what you're talking about.
I think it might just be the parade song from the movies.
Yeah. Do you have any 4th of July traditions in your family, Hannah? Do you guys normally see fireworks if there were fireworks?
I don't. I have kids that they aren't sure about fireworks.
Yeah.
They're not sure. You know, sometimes it's a little loud.
Right.
So we kind of just see how it goes. Sometimes fireworks are a little bit scary at certain ages.
Oh, yeah. I remember one year I spent the fireworks show in the car with my youngest daughter, who was just screaming, covering her ears. I'm like, why did I think this was a good idea? She's hated it for years. Why did I think this year was going to be different? I love fireworks. I think I'm just selfish because I love the ones that you feel in your chest.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, boom. Those are fun. I love this cookie. I'm taking so long because I don't want it to be over. It's so fun.
Yeah, I think it might be my favorite of these cookies. Yeah. Well, so far. We'll see what happens.
We don't know what's going to happen with that mean llama yet. Oh, that's so fun. That one's just done now because we've done everything. Okay, well, this one will be fun too because this one is going to involve marbling. And I think this is a fun technique that I think looks super cool and you won't believe how easy it is. So let me hold up, show you where we're going with this. First step is we're going to flood the whole cookie and then we're going to have our other colors handy because we're going to create some wet on wet technique with it. So let's flood our cookie. Flood it.
I decided to make mine red.
It's going to be good.
So it'll be a little different.
These buntings remind me of like the century homes. They always decorate their porches with these cute buntings. Like I'm picturing Chagrin Falls. I think my Aunt Judy has had this on her porch. So we're getting our cookie flooded, pushing up the icing to the edges. And then while the icing is wet, we're going to add the other colors and use our toothpick to drag the lines and create this awesome marbled look. All right, so what I would like you to do is take your other colors, the colors you did not flood your cookie in, and you are going to create a half circle like so.
So you're just following inside the line of the edge.
Exactly. You're kind of, the spacing doesn't really matter very much, but I'm leaving a little gap between. And you can do this as many times as you would like to repeat. It's kind of like an upside down rainbow at this point. And then in this area, I'm going to make this area a little thicker.
I kind of made mine a blob.
That's okay. I think it'll be fun. Let's see what happens. So we're going to start on the outside and drag our line into the center. Like we're going to try to hit this point in the middle of the cookie and drag our lines there. And then we move over a little bit and drag our line again. Space it over, drag. You're seeing what's happening. It's just blending the icing together, giving it this swoopy look. And I know I have a lot collected here. I don't know if you're doing it. This little blob. Yeah. So at this point, this icing that's going, I'm afraid that if I swipe it now, it's going to keep going. So I'm going to leave it alone because once this crusts over and dries, we can easily scrape it off and fix it. So if you're having any of this happening right now, don't worry. Leave it alone. We can fix it easy later. If I scrape it right now, it's going to tell it to like keep going. So I want this to crust over and just stop. That happened because we were moving, like we were making the momentum of the icing go.
We made icing
That's
waterfalls.
Pretty. I like the red flood. That's cute.
Yeah. Did anyone pick another color with me?
Nice. I love it. No rules. Okay, so let's shuffle them around. Get our last two cookies up front. And then this will complete the flooding stage after this. And then we'll move on to some detailing. All right, so the firework. When I did this firework, I flooded it. I added some details in the background. And then after it dried a bit, I put some details on top too. So let's see. This one is one of those like freestyle cookies that I feel like an explosion. I don't know how you really make it look like an explosion other than sprinkles and like dimension. So I'm going to just flood this whole cookie with the color that I outlined it with. And then we're going to sprinkle and sink down.
I think I might try some marbling and see what that does.
That's fun.
Maybe that will, I don't know.
Like maybe a star even.
So that's what I'm going to do on mine. If anyone wants to try that with me.
I love it.
I make no guarantees that it will look good.
Will it taste good,
But
Hannah?
it'll taste good.
That's the good thing. It's like, even if it's not your favorite, in the end, you know it's going to be a tasty treat. So I say just go for it and try something creative and different. And I bet everybody who looks at your cookies will be super impressed with what you did. We always seem to be more critical of our own work.
The other fun thing is when you try new things, it's like you get to learn more.
Right. It's the only way to figure out what works and what doesn't work as much and what your style is.
So I flooded mine, and now I'm going to take red and white, and I think I'm just going to make some circles in this, like the center of the firework, not the tail. I'm just going to make some circles while it's still wet. Oh, red and white. And then, like we dragged the toothpick on the last one, I'm going to drag it, but I'm going to start in the center and move out. And let's see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit explosion-y.
That's super cute.
A little bit.
It looks like an explosion. So I'm going to sink down some icing into this. I'm going to give this like a little bit of streak action, like the trail.
I'm going to do that too. I like that.
And then in this area, I'm going to just kind of make little squiggly lines looking like they're bursting in both colors.
I'm going to use my toothpick and just kind of drag some stuff.
I'm going to add some little dots. And I'm also going to add some sprinkles to the top.
Oh yeah, sprinkles.
This is just a lot happening on this one. I'm going to have to really hunt for my white ones right now because I used so many before. Seems like the heavy sprinkles just sink to the bottom. Maybe light ones sink to the bottom because those baby whites that I mixed in, I mean, I can't even get my hands on those. I kind of feel like just dumping the whole bowl. Whenever I put sprinkles in these containers, I always think, oh my gosh, that doesn't seem like enough. Let me add more. And then when you actually use them on cookies, you're like, this is enough for like 4 dozen. I don't know if you're feeling that way too, but sprinkles go a long way.
So if you like them,
yeah, just go for it.
Put a ton on.
Sprinkle it up. Nice.
I like mine.
I like it.
It's fun.
I like how you added yours to the tail area too. That's cute. All right. Uncle Sam's hat. I asked Paul about Uncle Sam and what that stands for. I wanted to give a lesson and I forgot it.
It stands for something?
It does. People saw SAM state. Oh my gosh. Do you know? No. Okay. Sorry. I wanted to have a lesson for you. I asked my husband the other day, who's like a history teacher, and he just knows random information. I was like, what does Uncle Sam stand for? And he told me.
See if we have like a chat feature and then people could tell us things like,
because it's for kids and they won't let us. Yeah. Alexa, what does Uncle Sam stand for?
Uncle Sam is usually defined as a personification of the United States government.
I know.
Alexa didn't help.
She did.
She just told us what we already know.
We know. It stands for something. And people would see those initials and be like,
someone just came in the back door.
We don't know who it is. Somebody has a key. I think it's my husband, and he's going to be on the spot to answer it right now.
Is that you, Uncle Sam?
Uncle Sam.
Oh, Paul, you're on a live video, but we need you.
We're live
Actually,
with Paul.
I'm not even kidding. This was not planned. This is okay. So I just said I asked you about what does Uncle Sam stand for. Tell us the story.
I can't remember if I'm 100% accurate on this, but I believe that during the war, people were very excited to get food and rations during the war, and these giant crates of food and supplies would come, and they would be labeled U.S. for United States, and the soldiers would say thanks to their Uncle Sam for
U.S.
delivering
Uncle
their stuff.
Sam.
There.
So that's where it came from.
Oh, I
There you
forgot the whole lesson,
That's
and
it.
you literally came in.
At the exact same time.
Yeah.
This was designed, wasn't it? You planned it.
Are you?
Or I just
Melissa?
finished my
'Cause
dentist
I asked
appointment.
her, and she didn't
Yeah,
know.
no, I just finished my dentist appointment. Came here. So
Well,
there we
that's
go.
Paul. That's my husband. In case you don't know him, he just arrived at the right time. He always saves the day. So there's another. Okay.
For those of you who are still watching after all that,
Okay. Enough with school and like facts. Back to the cookies. So let's fill in those areas now. So let's remind ourselves what each section is designed for. I think I'm going to fill in the white so I don't miss those white areas because I feel like I might just skip over those if I'm not careful. So we're creating sections right here. That is so funny. I'm really sorry. I feel like we're a little bit trying to entertain you guys, but I don't want to bore you guys. So I promise not as much history next week. Next week's class is going to be fun. Or not next week, like in 2 weeks. It's Hannah's like favorite. You thought of the topic.
is it farmer's market?
Yeah, it
I
is.
love cookies that look like food.
She loves
I
it.
don't know why. It's like you makes you doubly hungry, like an eggplant, but it's a cookie. I guess
Yeah.
eggplant's weird. Nobody looks at an eggplant. And gets
I
hungry.
was.
Never mind.
But I
Maybe
get it.
something.
I was thinking of a juicy peach,
Yeah.
like fruity cookies. But I think we're going to have peppers in the set. We haven't
Oh.
narrowed it down. We have a long list. We brainstormed so many different ones. I think that's what's next. I believe it's farmer's market next and then summer nights. And that's a fun set too. It was so hard to narrow down our ideas, you guys. There's so many cookie ideas out there. And if you have any cookie ideas that you're like, you know what, I'd love for you to teach me how to decorate, you fill in the blank. Send us your ideas. I would love to know what type of cookies you'd be interested in decorating with us. We're always looking for ideas.
I have a dream of decorating Harry Potter cookies
God, yes.
someday.
Do you know
I'm a
I
bit
did
of
a
a
Harry
nerd.
Potter class a few years ago, but it's been a while. It's time to revisit it.
I think it's so fun when you get to have cookies and also something that you love that has nothing to do with cookies, like Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Cookies can literally look like anything. Sometimes people ask, what's the weirdest cookie you've ever made? Weirdest cookie order. We've had some weird ones. I would say, I want to know what you think next, Hannah, but several years ago, before the cookie shop existed, I got an order for vulture cookies for like a science teacher's lesson. And it was so disappointing to me because vultures aren't cute. Like they're not. So, when people pick up their orders, we're usually like, what do you think? And I'm just like,
Here's some ugly bird
"There's
cookies.
some vultures. And they loved them. They're like, oh, it was perfect for the set. But I was like, that was the ugliest order. It was the ugliest.
I think it's weird when there's sometimes some medicinal cookies.
Like the capsule, the pills?
No, like things that have to do with like we made kidneys
Yes.
which is good for a good reason. It was like a kidney donor.
Right.
Like it's a happy story, but
right. Wasn't there a funny phrase about renal in there?
yeah. Yeah. Or like there was medical instruments we made once that were for like scraping a colon or something.
Cookies can be really anything. There's no limit on the amount of creativity. So we can turn your wildest dreams into a cookie, guys, is all I'm saying. Wow, I've been talking way too much. Let me get busy. We have a medicinal order this week, Hannah, for lungs.
Oh,
yeah. I think someone is retiring from being a respiratory doctor of some kind. So we're going to draw some lungs.
I recently got to do some knee braces.
Oh, you're and crutches, right?
Yeah. The crutches were cute.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. I love it. Cookies literally can be anything. That's what I love about it. I think that's so unique about cookies is that you can do so many different things within a set, within an order. And with a cake, I mean, people who do cakes are incredible, but I feel like there can be so much more detail done on cookies. All right, I am almost done with this.
So after this, when we go in to put more detail on the top, you want it to be like as dry as possible, because otherwise the detail might just like fall right into the icing and then it won't be like as crisp. It might just kind of blend in. So we'll go back to the cookies that we started first because they'll be the most dry.
And I already used my extra piping bag from my set to demonstrate rebagging. But I think in your sets, if you have not used your other bag, it might be a good idea to rebag your black. I'm thinking the black for the features on the llama might be helpful. That's what I intended the bag to be for. But yeah, that bag could be for the black. Another alternative to, let's say you want to rebag something else and you're like, oh my gosh, you only gave me one bag. Well, I've also used like a Ziploc bag. If you don't have any extra piping bags at home, you could use the corner of a Ziploc bag if it got into that situation where you absolutely needed another bag. But I think rebagging the black could be good. I didn't cut mine too thick, so I'm going to use mine as it is, but Hannah's going to rebag.
Yeah.
You
so
just
remember,
chop off a lot.
Squish this icing down so we don't waste it. Cut off a big chunk out of the top. Put it in the new bag. And then squeeze the icing into the new bag. And then just tie this in a knot. And I'm going to cut a tiny, tiny little hole out of the tip of this because then you can just have a lot more control over it. And I don't know how I'm going to make my llama angry, so I need to have really fine tip on the black. I'm thinking he's going to need like angry eyebrows, right? Maybe a grimace.
Oh, tippy eyebrows would be really good. Absolutely. I'm just taking a little video right now of a video, guys. So I just want to show how fun it is when cookie decorating videos happen. Oh yeah. Hi, everybody.
Okay, angry llama. Well, we started with sunglasses though. What, is there anything else we want to do on our sunglasses? That was our first cookie.
Yeah, I think that one's done. The sunglasses they're complete.
Did you guys see there's like a little like edges on the sides that might need, if you didn't put those on, what is that? Where the ear
little knobby
things go on the front.
Good call.
So that might need to be added.
Yeah, at this point, you can get as fine-tuned as you want with adding little touches.
I think sunglasses too. It might be fun once it dried more to add more black if you wanted it to have more dimension.
Yes.
You could kind of go over the black again and make it kind of stick out further.
I'm going to do that arm attachment on the edge. It's like an extra little notch. I might cut my black a little more after the llama to go over the hearts more. I'm going to keep it nice and small for the llama, which I'm going to bring closer. We need to do the hooves on the llama because I want to make the hooves on him a little bit darker. I don't know if they're really black, but I'm going to make my alpaca just a little dark hoof. And then when I did my llama originally, I want to show you up close his like snout area. I put a little bit of white in the background. So I'm going to give do that area now so it can dry a bit.
Oh, so he has kind of so his nose comes out a little bit more.
It sticks out a bit. And ultimately, if we were working on these here without a video going on, I would let this all dry a lot more than what we're going to do today, because I bet you guys don't want to watch this all day. So I'm going to let that dry just a bit, and then I'm going to create a little saddle on my alpaca. I don't believe they have saddles, but I mean, that's just a big area to leave alone, in my opinion. So I'm going to do something fun with it. And there's just no rules.
I think I'm going to make mine have like a square blanket with like tassels.
Oh, cute. They do have like little blankets on them. I think at the zoo, when you ride them, they have a blanket under the saddle. There are saddles on llamas. No, that's a camel. Wrong furry creature.
Anyone out there ever ridden a llama / alpaca? Alpacas, they are the ones that have really valuable fur.
Yeah.
That gets turned into,
sweaters,
yarns and things.
Yeah. I'm going to put some little polka dots outside of my saddle area. I love seeing alpacas up close at the fair. That's the animal I love to visit every year because their faces are so funny. I think I took a selfie one year with an alpaca. See the saddle? That's what I did there. And this is way too wet to be doing this, but I'm going to go for it just to keep this video moving. I'm going to create a little heart-shaped nose. And then I'm going to create that little, like, I don't know what you would call this. It's representative of its mouth and like part of its snout, nose, swoopiness. See him up close. And that's where I'm going to stop with mine.
I'm going to put an angry face on my llama.
Oh, I like your blanket. That's legit.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do 2 dots for eyes. And then I'm going to give him maybe not angry eyebrows, just like not impressed eyebrows. So they're just kind of flat. And then I'm going to give him the meh face. He's just going to be meh. So, does he need a nose? Yeah, I'll do a little nose. And then just meh.
He looks so irritated. He's not impressed. That's the best way to. He's not mad.
He's meh.
He is not at all
This
impressed.
is a meh llama.
Like, whatever. That's so good.
In case you're watching this video and it's not still quarantine and not still 2020, that's why he's meh.
Yeah.
Because he was made in 2020.
That's overall attitude. That's so funny. I'm going to go over my sunglasses. Sometimes I have a hard time stopping with things, and that might be what's happening here, but I want to give a little more dimension to my sunglasses and have them raised a little bit outside of the lenses. So I'm just going over those hearts to make them pop a little bit more. And because we're done with our black from creating those features on the llama alpacas, why don't we trim the black a little bit more and go over our sunglasses? I think I want to just make them a little bit deeper. So I trimmed it off quite a bit because I want to make that line nice and thick. Now, when you're done with your set, I'd really love it if you guys would share your pictures with us. I would love to see all your cookies, your mystery shape too. In case you're not sure how to share that, there is an insert that has all the ways to get a hold of us, all our handles on things. Share your pictures. We would love to see what you did. The final step, and then I think we're done with this set, will be the stars on Uncle Sam's hat. So I make stars the way I would draw a star. I am going to put 3 down, and I'm going to start by doing one in the center so I know my spacing. And I'm going to draw a star the way I do. And then it kind of fills in a little bit. And then I use a toothpick to just kind of make the peaks go out a bit more to make sharper edges. So just draw a star and it naturally will fill in a little bit. And you can just use a toothpick to make it a little more symmetrical.
I cut open my white pretty big, and I know I won't be able to draw stars, but I'm going to do polka dots on the band instead.
Oh, cute. Or you could write USA. There's just so many different things that you can do in this area. Take it and run with it. Okay.
Your bunting cookie is also something that you could, like, if you wanted to write on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could write USA.
You could put your name so no one eats your cookie.
Yeah. Claim it. Well, guys, it was so fun working with you today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for our next video. Thanks. Have fun. Bye-bye.